Alright guys, I'm back. It is June 14th, 2018. This will be my third video out today. If you haven't already, please check back and watch my other videos that I've put out. But we'll go ahead and kind of jump into this. I'd like to just go over the current volcanism we're having, the earthquakes. We have more volcanoes erupting, so I'm going to go over the ones that are starting to erupt. They're getting activity underneath them, like this new one that we had heard. Galeras, something like that. I'm going to give you a little fun facts about the volcano before I go into a couple other things with it. Galeras is a stratovolcano with a large breached caldera located immediately west of the city of Pasto. It is one of Colombia's most frequently active volcanoes. The dominantly andesitic complex has been active for more than 1 million years, and two major caldera collapse eruptions took place during the late I can never say those words. During last, at least I don't know, Paleocene. So whenever that was, I could look it up, but I know it's been a while. I'll go to the past eruptions, and that'll give us some more look into it. So around then was the last one, is what they're referring to. The last eruption that was confirmed in our lifetime was May 13, 2012. It let's see, any pictures? A couple pictures from 1989. This is a picture from its 1936 eruption. Vigorous explosion eruption took place at the Galeras volcano. I remember reading that it had killed 2 or 3 people actually. Let me see if I can find that report I was reading off. Anyways, I'm sure I'll find it while I continue reading. Here's another update. This is from the earthquake that had just hit the volcano. This is where I read it killed 2 people. I apologize. So the earthquake that had just struck at the Galeras volcano is what had killed 2 people. 2 moderate earthquakes occurred near Galeras, Colombia. Galeras, Colombia's most active volcano, at a depth of 30 kilometers, according to the Colombia Geological Service. The first quake occurred at 4:35 a.m. local time and registered 4.5 on the Richter scale. A minute later, a second quake occurred. Second quake measuring magnitude 4.3 hit. Several mild aftershocks have followed. 2 people have died when their houses were crushed by falling rocks, and officials suspended classes in local schools as a precaution. The earthquakes have placed local authorities in the nearby city of Pasto, capital of Negra province, on high alert as they are feared that the currently dormant volcano may enter a new eruptive phase. So that is that report, and I will make sure to link that so you guys can go ahead and go over that yourself. This right here is what's currently going on. This is all the stuff that's been updated over. Either it was posted yesterday or today, okay? So these are ash advisories. So they have an ash advisory out for Sakurajima volcano, Dakuno volcano that's currently going out right now, and I will leave a link, so if you guys are curious about these, go really in depth. I will read some of the descriptions about them, but it's a lot here to read, so I suggest you take it on yourself. The Agung volcano on Bali in Indonesia has become active again, more active again, with 2 ash plumes producing eruptions in the past few days. Yasur is a Tana Island in I'm not sure where that's at. Volcanic ash advisory for that. Kilauea, they issued another volcanic advisory. Sierra Negra and the Isabela Islands in the Galapagos. A seismic crisis has started under the volcano recently, suggesting that the volcano could be approaching a new eruption in the near or medium term future. Weeks to months. So that's another volcano that could be going soon, is the Sierra Negra. And this is one we had just talked about, was the Galeras in Colombia. And then there's another one here in Peru that was a volcanic ash advisory as well. So when it says volcanic ash, there's been an explosion or it's pumping out a decent amount of fumes that affect the air quality. Now this is something else I'll start linking to you guys. So if you guys are curious of the past 24 hours, the biggest earthquakes that we've had, you can sort it. I'm doing just 5 but you can do it from every magnitude. I was just curious. So, as of today, right now, around the world, we've had 49 3 pluses. We have 18 4 pluses and 4 5 plus magnitude earthquakes. And like I said, they go ahead and map it for you, and you kind of get a vision of where they're located. And you can go in. They allow you to click on each one of these, the largest one. So we had the largest one that was recorded as a 5.6 off the coast of southern Chile. So let's go and give it a look. There's the location. That's where it happened. Yeah, I don't. We'll see what it's by. But there's volcanoes all along over there, so I wouldn't doubt it. We had another volcanic eruption 9 hours ago, June 14th. We had a 5.3 at Hawaii's volcano. We had a 5.2 in Panama 22 hours ago. 2 hours ago, we had a 5.0 in Indonesia. We had a 4.9 8 hours ago in Argentina. We had a 4.9 in Indonesia, in Halmahera, something like that. Alright, so this is the, what is this one? This is going over all the earthquake activity we've had here in Oregon and Washington. Had a viewer who was asking, he was kind of, it seemed like maybe he was curious what was going on. So this is tracked all month. So there has been activity going on. Everyone, these little dots, these little ones, all these little ones, you want to ignore. So had a bunch of 1s and 2s around Oregon. We had 1, 3, 4 on, looks like almost, it was yesterday, in the middle of yesterday, which was reported. It's on the radar. But that's about it. Now, there's plenty of, like I said, there's movement going on, and the plates are shifting. So you need to expect, if you're on the western seaboard, or if you're over there on the west side, you need to understand, if you're on a coastline, you're going to be affected by earthquakes. The entire plate by you is moving. So everything, it's not just our way, it's moving all the way down by South America and Mexico as well. The entire, if you're on a coast at all, on the western or southern hemisphere, you are going to be affected by earthquakes right now. The entire plate is moving. It's evident. You can see it. Every volcano that's on the Ring of Fire it's not in the active stage, but the majority of them are going into active stage. I did a video about this. It was one of my first videos I put out, was an active volcano map for you guys to look at. And I can link that for you as well if you're curious how many volcanoes are erupting, how many are going into eruptive stage. Actually, I may have to link it. I may be able to just pull it up real quick. Save myself a little bit of time. So here's the active earthquake or volcano map. I usually don't pull these up just because when I'm recording, I don't want to lag or anything. But okay, so red is obviously erupting, and orange. It's really all you want to look for. However, yellow is a good, I mean, not a good sign, but it's a sign that things are awakening. So just go ahead and take that in for a second. But as I said, orange is what you want to really look at. The Sierra Negra, wherever when we had that big earthquake swarm over at, or that we just had an earthquake out there. I don't know what day it was. I can go back and find it. And but that's what they're worried about. It's out there in the middle of the water too. So keep that in mind. But let me just look at that. It's the entire, like I said, if you're on a coastline, it's the entire coast that's getting affected. And it's same over here. It's the entire Ring of Fire. This is all one big plate. And if you're not familiar with what plate that you live on or that you're by, if you're on the West Coast, you need to become familiar with it. It's important. It's a risk that you have living over there in paradise. You have to worry about these type of things. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the Kilauea for you guys as well. And I wanted to give you some tips if you're going to take this upon yourself to track stuff on Hawaii. I found the depth that you need to be looking for the earthquakes. So so on this chart, like I said, you track them. pull up the so you want to be tracking right here. A giant magma chamber beneath the Hawaiian Islands is closer to the surface than any other magma chamber yet measured, as little as 1.9 to 2.5 miles, or 3 to 4 kilometers below the surface. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. So your depth, drop that down. You're only looking for 5s, maybe 5s and 10s. Okay. Then you want to start looking for locations, because these are where the lava plumes, these are where the lava, this is where they're being fed through. I did a video yesterday. It's about a cut through about right here. We know Mauna Loa and Kilauea work together. They share. So I guarantee you there's a lava plume, something that's transferring magma down to Kilauea. Probably the main reason why Kilauea hasn't stopped yet. It's probably moving all the fluid that's usually over here, all the magma that's over in Mauna Loa into it, and pushing it out. Now that's purely speculation, but it's what it kind of seems like in my opinion. But as I said, we're looking for 3 to 4 kilometers is where the magma plume's at. So if, the more earthquakes we have around the magma plume is how we can kind of track what it's doing. It's shifting, it's moving, that type of thing. So it's very important to figure that type of stuff out. Scroll down a little bit and pull up the other instruments. Whoops. Pull up our GPS, pull up our sign. Or actually, we don't want those. Look at gas emissions again, see if there's any new ones. Oh, that's new. There has not always been a gas emission from Mauna Loa. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 90% sure that's a new gas emission. So that's kind of scary. I want to say that is new. I tried to do these GPS checks the other day, and the majority of them are kind of hard to read because I can't get an accurate depiction of what it is, because some work, some don't, and I need to be able to compare a couple to get an accurate reading. So if I get these two working, but not, oh, there we go. Okay, so I'll check this one out since these two work. April, and well, this doesn't help me. That's another, they only track up to 2008 in April of 2018. We're in June, so none of this information is going to give me is going to be useful. I suggest you look at the INSAR map that I had. I will upload it, and I don't have it at hand, or I'd pull it up right now. Like I said, I don't want to risk lagging or anything. See if we have any of these till. I'm curious if they're even going out here and fixing any of these machines. Ground's dropping steadily. Yeah, I think the worst is still to come here in Hawaii. Mainly because of how much activity we're having right here at the main greater caldera, and that the activity is not stopping along the Helena Fault. The majority of it is centered here, but as I said, keep in mind, all of this is Helena. All of this. And if you look out here, this used to be old Helena. A lot of this stuff has fallen off the mountain or off the islands, years after years and years and years. It just falls off. And they said the lava entry that's coming in over here is getting extremely steep to the point they think it's going to become unstable and start falling in on itself. So I wish I had an updated look at the entry over here, but they said it's getting really steep and unstable. So, and I don't know if that's enough to trigger the entire collapse. I highly, highly, highly doubt it. It's a lot of land mass, and honestly, I don't even think this whole thing will go if it slips. But if you look at the past records and the past debris lines, I mean, there's been pretty large slips in the Helena Fault line. So, but the chances of this whole thing slipping, I think, are none. I don't think this whole thing will slip. I do think a portion of it could slip, and it's where we're going to see the most activity at. And over here as well, if this continues building up, because I said it's flowing down and it's entering over here, and when it's entering, it's hardening and stacking up. And when they did a flyby on the helicopter and they had talked about it's looking weak, they don't know how much higher it can go without collapsing in on itself. So that's something I think you should take in mind. Although I don't think it risks much of a tsunami potential. I don't think it's that large but I don't know. I'll have to just wait till I hear more information about that. that's kind of your look at it. I suggest keeping an eye on Mauna Loa now, because I do not remember seeing that gas emission there at all, but I could be wrong. I'll have to check my other video that I posted the day before yesterday, or yesterday, whenever it was, and check that out. But that's kind of nerve-wracking. But regardless, guys, this is your update. I apologize if I messed up or anything. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how to do these streams, or not these streams, but these recordings properly, and present you guys the information you want to hear. I know some of you are more pickier than others about what you want to hear and what you're looking for, and you know, I'm just trying to present what I have the best I can. Yet again, though, I said I really appreciate everyone following and keeping attention on this channel. So I hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you. I may post a video tomorrow on my birthday. Just depends, though. Have a great night, guys.